please give a massive Carlton Town welcome to TalkSport presenter, Mr. Jonny Owen. Jonny, I could stand here and talk to you for ages because there's so much about your history and about your past. I didn't even mention the fact you did some boxing back in the early days. We've only got a limited amount of time, so I really want to kick straight to the chase. You know, I mean, there's the bit about the BAFTA in 2007 with the great documentary you made about the Welsh mining disaster. But the one thing I really would like to start off to talking to you about is, I believe in miracles. Being a Forest fan, we'd had those great events, and nobody had really captured it. Nobody had really done anything much about it. We had a few sign-ins, and but it was almost like forgotten, and you sort of brought it back into the memory. I would almost say that one or two of the managers at Forest almost wanted to dismiss it because they felt the pressure of it, and luckily the current manager is completely the opposite. Talk to me about that documentary, how you come to make it, and just take me through the whole process and where the thought came from, and just, yeah, you know where I'm coming from.
Absolutely, I mean, it's the best thing I've ever done. I've never bought a pint in Nottingham since, so I'm very happy to do it. I moved to Nottingham with Vicky McClure, that's Nick, nearly 10 years ago now. And there was a new TV channel starting called Notts TV, which is still going now. And a gentleman there called Craig Chettle noticed my CV, that I'd worked in media and television and done a lot of sport. And he asked me if I'd be interested in doing something about the great Nottingham Forest team of the late 70s to launch the channel. I was literally about 5 or 6 days in. I was looking at the footage, I was trying the music, and I remember thinking, this is much bigger than just a local TV channel. So I took it down to London, and I did a little sort of what they call a sizzle reel, which is like 15 minutes of music and some interviews, John Robinson, Frank Clark, Gary Birtles. And it was picked up by Baby Cow and Universal, and they gave me the money to make a film, and it became the biggest grossing sports film at cinema in 2015, the UK box office. It sold many copies on DVD. Do you remember them DVDs? Yeah. And it recently went on to Netflix when it was trending, just running up to Christmas and again last weekend. So it's done fantastically well. I still think, I may be biased, it's the best, certainly, football story in the history of the game. What happened there in 5 years, and I think it's the best sporting story ever to go from 5 years from being a mid-table second division club to winning a title and 2 European Cups. Never happened before. Never happen again. That's what make Nottingham Forest a special club and a special story.
Great, fantastic. One of the things that interests me, Jonny, was obviously when you got this fantastic idea and the idea was the sort of build. What sort of reaction did you get? Because at the time, if I remember rightly, I don't think the owners were the best owners we've ever had. So you were obviously, I don't know how much they got involved with it and how the players responded to it. When you sort of, who did you pitch the idea to in terms of the club and the players? What sort of response did you get?
Okay, actually, I did meet with that owner, Flowers, and I met with Ben White, who worked in the media department, and a lot of people at the club, and they couldn't have been any more accommodating in the sense we had a wonderful night there at the City Ground, big premiere, where we had, I think it was the record crowd for a cinematic event for a new show. It was amazing, yeah, there was about 5,000 to 6,000 people there, which is an amazing night, and it was a great atmosphere. So yeah, they were brilliant, I got to say, to me at that time. They couldn't have been any more helpful, and yeah, I'm just glad it was. I'm glad. The biggest thing for me with that is that every time you see now, they talk about the 10 domestic football teams ever, certainly in British football history. Forest are always in that team, and I'm quite right because of what they achieved, and I think that's the big thing. And also people like John Robinson, the story more there, one of the other great Forest's players ever, will tell you those players were great in my opinion. Maybe known sort of in Nottingham, but now they're known across the world, and I think that's brilliant.
What, just stepping forward then, obviously you've made more documentaries, you've got your TalkSport career. What was the inspiration behind the Three Kings? Because I'm not going to lie to you, I haven't watched that one yet, but I've been told it's absolutely brilliant. The Three Kings, well, I'll let you tell the story.
Yeah, it was a story of Matt Busby, Jock Stein and Bill Shank, who all grew up within 30 miles of each other. They were lifelong friends and they achieved incredible things in football. I mean, I think that, I really enjoyed it. I believe in miracles, and I enjoy telling great football stories of the past. The history of the game is so rich. And I just had the idea. My father passed away in 2017. He worked underground, as a lot of people had in South Wales, a lot of people around this area as well. And he always used to point out miners, like Bill Shank, he was a miner, Jock Stevie was a miner, so I just thought to myself, well, I wouldn't mind telling that story for a new generation really, and that's what I tried to do, really tell the story about how football has its roots in the industry, the working class, like tonight, great local people, a community club, helping one another out, and people in football and the world should always know and remember that.
One thing that's fascinated me, and I got an invite at Christmas, and a lot of people don't know, Jonny obviously did the Forest, I believe in miracles, and you became friends with a lot of the players, and I know you regularly have a get-together in West Bridgeford now, don't you? And a little bird tells me, I mean, I got invited to the one at Christmas, which was great, and I came down and had a Christmas drink with you, but I understand the Forest manager came down to one. Is that true?
Yeah, well, it's a funny story actually. Steve's father is Keith Cooper, the very famous referee from Wales and Pontypridd. Steve's obviously a Ponty boy, and one of the first jobs I had working for ITV Wales, HTV as it was being a researcher on a sport show called Top Sport, which we used to remember. It was a really famous Welsh show, and Keith Cooper was the presenter. So I knew Keith from my first jobs, since leaving university, and so I knew Keith very well. And Steve is a local boy as far as coming from the valleys is concerned. He's done a wonderful job up here. He's a good man. So we hooked up and had a coffee together.
A coffee? Was it really a coffee?
Yeah, he had a coffee.
So that's brilliant. And he met Robbo. Is that right? Was Robbo there that day?
He did. He was really wanted to meet Robbo. It was one of those things that was really because he really enjoyed I Believe in Miracles. He was very flattering about the film, and he watched it quite a few times and things. And he wanted to meet the players. That's one thing about Steve, I just mentioned it earlier. He wants to embrace Forest's great past. Forest have had great footballers. There's one sitting here tonight, and I think any manager and anybody that gets involved in the club has to embrace that. You've got to remember you're a huge football club with big support, and you've got to take it on.
Yeah, I totally agree with you on that. And I think this manager's been. I know what he's achieving on the pitch, but just his whole demeanour, the way it comes across, and you can see that he's embraced.
He's connected with the fans.
Absolutely. I think they were waiting on Saturday. The guys that were with me, Dave were one of them. They were waiting for him to do the fist pump, weren't they, Dave? They were actually waiting. They were staying behind for him to do that, and that's
the three.
Yeah, absolutely. You're involved on the board now at Forest as well. What's your role at the club now, Jonny? What are you involved with?
Yeah, I'm just a director on the board, so it's amazing. They've done fantastic, especially the last few months. This FA Cup run. As we just seen, like Gavin was just saying, imagine if somebody got a bet up for beating Leicester home, Arsenal home, in the cup.
And Derby in the middle.
Yeah, exactly. So they're on a wonderful role at the moment. They're getting great support, home and away. And it's brilliant to see, and I think there's been some really astute signings recently. I really like the boy Davis up front of me, and Ian Storey-Moore, another fantastic forward, was talking about him earlier on, and I think they've got a chance, and that's all you can have. It's a really tough division. There's a lot of teams, a lot of money in there. That parachute payment is a big thing in football. But Forest seem to be in a good place. Momentum's important. Huge game tomorrow night. Keep winning, and come Easter time for it with a shout. Who knows?
Somebody asked me to ask you, any news on the ground redevelopment at the moment with the main stand? I know it's gone a little bit quiet about that. Is there any more news on that, Jonny, at the moment?
I just know the application and the stuff is in with the council, and it's up to them really. So yeah, stay a shout.
It's just a case of waiting. And
yeah.
Talk to me about your role at TalkSport, because I don't know how many of you listened to Jonny's show on we've got people. I mean, I've texted him. I mean, some of the shows he's had, some of the guests he's had have been absolutely brilliant. And the thing I enjoy about it particularly is the fact that it doesn't just cover the big clubs. It can go right down anywhere you want. You had the Gedling Miners guy on one week. I know he got involved with a charity match here. We got featured, but it goes right up and down. You've had some amazing guests. I mean, here's a quick one. How do you get to know Noel Gallagher then? Where does that come from?
He's a mate now. I've got to know him really. Do you know what I mean? And he's a good lad. He's a big Man City fan, so I think he enjoys TalkSport. And met him at an event, and then we got Pally. Went up for 2 pints together. So yeah, you just get to know people. It's a great station.
Bring him down here, Jonny.
That'd be good, wouldn't it? That'd be a bit special. I'll leave that one with you, Jonny.
No, it's just one of those things. It's a big station. It gets great listening figures, and people want to go on and they love talking about football and sport.
What's your goal in terms of that show? What do you go to when you get there on a Sunday morning? You do that every week, and it is a brilliant show. And I'm not just saying that because I'm standing here with you. You know that I listen to it every week. When you actually took the show on and you did it, what was the focus? What were you trying to achieve with it?
Well, the head of talks was a great guy called Lee Clayton. He'd asked me to do some stuff in Mark Webster, who's my co-host, and a great guy. He asked me to do some stuff on Talk Sport 2, and they liked what me and Mark were like together. We worked on the book room actually, it's Notts TV, and we just wanted to do a football culture show. So as you said, we wanted to talk about, you know, other things other than Chelsea's left back. We want to talk about the club's history, why people got a certain kit, and non-league, and all those different things, and that's what we try to do really. And fortunately, we seem to pick up an audience who like that as well, you know, and that's what we seem to have done. We've connected with people who want to talk about stuff like coming to Carlton Town.
One of the things about our relationship that a lot of people probably don't know is one of the greatest things we've done here this year, which probably I got a phone call off Jonny early part of the year. He said, Mick, I've been asked, Merthyr Tydfil are looking to come away, have a bit of an away trip, and they're looking for somebody at a decent level to play a game. He said, any chance? And I said, yeah, I'm sure Tommy and the guys will be up for that. And I rung Tommy straight away, we had a chat. Basically, question one, where does your love for Merthyr Tydfil come? And secondly, the game itself, that was a great day down here, wasn't it?
It certainly was being the bar. I think it took too long to live from the boys. I'm a born and bred Merthyr boy, you know, family all from there. And it's a great football town. They always had a really good non-league team. And what I did and a lot of my mates is we just always supported Merthyr and Cardiff because they're our local teams, you know. Merthyr with a non-league, Cardiff the local league team. It's just what we all did, you know. It was from my early teens, my mates would just, you know, we'd either go to Pendarren Park or Ninian Park. It's just what we did. It's like breathing, I always said. We played football, watched football. So I've always had a big love for them. Me and Vicky, our production company, we sponsored the shorts this year.
Yeah, that's brilliant.
We try to do, you know, try to help in that way and you know, try to support non-league. It's a big thing now, you know, non-league day. And I think people really enjoy it. Like my mate, you know, Jez, who's come tonight, said that's a good laugh up here. And I said, yeah, you know, people got a few beers, watch a bit of football, and people love it, you know, and long may that continue.
That's brilliant, and I think that was a brilliant summer day. I know a lot of you were here for that, and I think I need to have a conversation with you. We need to sort the date for the rematch. I think we're going up there in the summer, aren't we? We need to have a conversation about that, don't we, both? Right, I'm going to hand it over to the floor because the game will be kicking off in a few minutes, and don't go quiet on me. Anybody got any questions for our very special guest, Jonny Owen? Have you got one at the back there? And that involves the away fans as well. If anybody's got any questions you'd like to ask, it's not very often we have a talk sport presenter up here and a filmmaker. So, can we have a question from somebody, please? We've got a question at the back.
When are you going to come back Carlton Town?
Got this year, and I'll make one, yeah.
Got any more questions, Reese? Have you got any questions? You're normally you've normally got some brilliant things to ask. You're a big Welsh man.
Jonny, I know Jonny for many years, like, you know, we've been friends for 30 odd years, like, and he did not only did he do that top sport thing on telly, he did like Soccer Sunday.
Did you?
And they were all the Swansea fans. There's a big run Cardiff, like Derby and Forest, Cardiff and Swansea hate each other. And because they knew he was Cardiff, they always said he was biased, but he always had to be unbiased towards it. He had to talk about all the Welsh teams, like this sort of thing.
That's right.
And on his last day, he actually turned around and said, thank you for all your supporting me on the TV programme and all that, but actually, yes, I am a Cardiff City fan. I think in the blue half of South Wales, that went down pretty well. It did in my house anyway.
I think Ellis James, who's the big presenter on radio, Swansea fan, he always talks about that now. He says that he's spent like all these years, and at the very end, I've always wanted to do a bit of acting. I said to him, thank you very much, it's the very last Soccer Sunday ever. I can remember doing the line, and I went, I'd use all my acting skills over the years to, you know, to keep a straight face, you know, when Cardiff win and Swansea lose and whatever, blah, blah, blah. But I said, thank you very much. And then it was Christmas time, do you remember? And I went, I don't know why I did it. It was a Christmas tree, and I went, I'm taking this to my mother. And I pulled it out, and all the lights went black. And the perfect ending to make the Christmas tree as well.
Brilliant.
I just have one last.
Yeah, of course you can. Any questions, please? We're okay for a minute or two.
Are your acting days over, or do you think you might go back onto the screen yourself?
To be honest with you, yeah, Kerry, I'm all right now. I'm done. I like being behind the camera.
Never say never.
I never say never. Maybe one with Spielberg rings. He's listening to me. Here he is. If Spielberg's there, what is this? Yeah, I never say never, of course.
What was your biggest role, Jonny, in acting?
Was it Shameless? That was in my family. It was good things.
Sven Darling!
Yeah.
That's the one.
Yeah.
That's the one, best
But,
one. If you haven't seen it, best film ever.
Very kind. So yeah, I mean, listen, I enjoy being with the camera, and yeah, that's kind of where I see myself.
Okay. Any more for any more?
Do you think you'll make any more footballing movies than Tommy to follow the last two you've done?
Yeah, I think so. I think that I'm in some chats with some people now to do some more possible. So yeah.
Can you give us a clue?
Not
Well-
Derby County, surely.
What's that for the only one?
Well, there you was, only
And I
one.
was like, I can't do it. Why? And I went, Forest. Oh yeah, I forgot.
Got a commentary fan over there. Anything about commentary,
Very
Johnny?
long, would it?
Well, I think possibly if Wales did make the World Cup, then that would be massive.
Of course, that was another big one you did.
Yeah, don't take me home, which I've done really well
Absolutely.
with Wales. But if
Do you
we did,
think you could get Gareth Bale down here?
so you know, Gareth Bale, Noel Gallagher, oh much.
Not Gallagher, Gareth Bale. We were waiting to use your contact base.
Mick, also,
I give him a clue.
Yeah, we want Vicky, definitely. Absolutely.
also, like going back to the thing of the Noel Gallagher, I was giving Johnny a lip once, and he's texting someone. And I said, who are you texting? He said, Noel Gallagher. I think he was normal to be texting Noel Gallagher.
Brilliant. Okay. Any more before we get kick-off time? Questions are good.
Are we getting a score prediction for tonight?
Carlton Town 3-1.
Right, I think we're nearing. I think
I've got one, mate.
Go on, Gav, far
How many
away.
pairs of underpants did you take to France for the Don't Take Me Home?
Not enough, because we were out there for longer than I thought. So I had to go to a dry cleaners twice.
There we go.
That's a good answer. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together. A very special guest, Jonny Owen. Thanks for having me.